welcome to Global Perspectives to Food and Culture. My name is Moises Plasencia. I will be your guide in this world of food and anthropology, right? Anthro 175. So I want to welcome everyone, right, from wherever you are, right? And I want to say I look forward to meeting you and understanding your food culture, right? Your perspectives on food, right? And your dietary needs, right? So I look forward to meeting all of you, right? Please make sure to fill out the survey on Canvas. What we're going to talk about today is explore the evolutionary influences on human diet, eating practices, and cuisine. Also describe the changing nature of the omnivore's dilemma, right? And also identify the cultural construction of edibility and how food conveys value and meaning. Right? In addition to this, we're also going to recognize how food classification and rules are embedded in the social order and assess the theoretical explanations for food prohibition, right? And note the ideological underpinnings of the public nutritional discourse, right? And locate the shaping of individual responsibilities in dietary choices. Once again, that is, locate the shaping of individuals' responsibilities in dietary choices. Right, so how did I get into this, right? So I kind of want to give you all a quick narrative, right, of how I became a food anthropologist, right? Now, I had spent some time through internships in the Yucatan Peninsula and also in Chiapas, which is, they're located in southern Mexico. Now, as I am traveling through these spaces, right, I'm noting that they have a very intimate connection to their food sources, right? And they have a variety of foods, right, such as the ones in this image here, right? So these are all variations of beans, right? Not garbanzo beans, but one type of bean, right? So you might go to the store, you might see black beans, you might see some pinto beans, maybe some kidney beans, right? But in this image here, you can see that these are about 20 different varieties of beans, right? And they all have their own unique habitat, their own unique stories, right? And their connection to their culture, maybe even a unique plate. Right now, as I'm traveling through the Yucatan Peninsula, right, I run across a ceremony known as Sacna, right, which is being held in this village known as Ch1, right, in the Yucatan Peninsula. Right now, in this this image here, right, we can see that there are a group of women, right, that are making what seems like to be a giant tamale. Just kidding. It is actually a variety of different tamales that they're wrapping in banana leaves for this ceremony to thank Yunchak, right, the god of rain. Right now, to think about this, right, we have a group of people who are coming together for a ritual to thank the god of rain for a bountiful harvest, right, of corn, which they make into masa, which is a form of corn dough. Right, you might have had masa maybe in a taco, right? You might have had this in a tamale, even a pupusa, right? If you know anyone from El Salvador. Right now, what was beautiful about this ceremony was that it brought the entire village out, right? They came to make tamales, they brought chickens, they brought their own corn masa, right? They brought all sorts of different things together, right? To celebrate this wonderful day, right? Now, this made me think about a very important question. What do you grow in your town? This question was posed to me by a older gentleman who was complaining about his milpa, which is this traditional type of crop where they grow corn, beans, and squash together. Right now, he's complaining about his milpa, right, and how this recent drought has really affected his crops. Right now, what he asked me has sent me on this voyage, right, to try to understand our place, right, within the food system. And this question was, what do you grow in your town? When he asked me this, I would look perplexed, and I was like, you know what, I don't think I grow anything in my town, right? And the question made me think about, okay, why is it that this person so close to his food source is so worried about his food? And why is it that me, the urban dweller, right, the city person, has no concern at all about his food source? Right, so I want to give you all a moment to answer that question and think about that, right? What do you grow in your town? Right? What is grown in your society? Right, now, later on, this made me focus in on the practice of urban agriculture, right? And the practice of urban agriculture has led me to really come to understand a variety of connections that we have to our food system, be that dietary, cultural, or even biological, right? So let's get into it, right? So hope you're ready, right? So why do we study food? I want to just write down some of your initial thoughts on why we study food. Just go ahead and take a minute. Right? Thank you. Now, what is your food culture? Meaning, who do you eat with, right? Or do you eat alone with a group? What do you eat, right? What is on your plate? When do you eat? Meaning, what time? Do you have maybe one large meal in the morning and never eat again, right? Or do you have a series of different meals? Do you have 6 meals, right, a day, right? Do you have 3 meals? What exactly, when do you actually eat? And why do you eat? Do you eat strictly for the taste of things? Do you eat strictly for the nutrition of things, right? And how do you eat them, right? Do you use your hands? Do you use a fork? Do you use chopsticks, right? Right now, when it comes to our food choices, right, and the connection to our dietary needs, right, there are two different elements, right? There are the biological and the cultural. The biological are the nutritional needs, meaning that we all need carbohydrates, we need proteins, right? We need minerals, things that will help us produce amino acids, right? And then we also have how food has affected our evolutionary trajectory, meaning that why do we have this dentition? Right? Why do we have forward facing eyes? Why do we have these long legs? Right? And why do we have the stomach that we have? Right? And also the cultural class of importance, meaning that what do you classify as food? Right? Are guinea pigs food? Right? Are insects food? Are cows food? Are pigs food? Right? All of these things have important cultural connections. Right? In addition to this, we think about our eating practices, right? Let's say, for example, in Spain, right, they practice the siesta, right? And after this, during the siesta, they will have a large lunch, and for dinner, what we would consider dinner is a very small meal, right? Now, even in terms of cuisine, right? Do you like spicy food? Do you like bland food? Do you have a lot of salt in your food? Or is there, let's say, no salt in your food? Do you prefer fresh vegetables, right? Instead of having something that is cooked, right? All these things are very important and is part of our cultural needs, right? And are based off of what we have grown up in, what we have experienced, and who we have experienced it with, right? Now, let's think about this idea of the evolutionary influences of our human diet and eating practices and cuisines, right? Now, we can be what they call dietary specialists, such as the giant panda or the monarch butterfly. Now, the giant panda eats only one thing. He eats, or they eat bamboo, meaning that if bamboo were to be wiped off of the face of the earth, the panda would also be wiped off of the face of the earth, right? Now, for us, we don't have that problem, right? We are omnivorousness, meaning that we are all devouring. We consume everything, right? We can even consume humans, but that would be cannibalism and is illegal in most countries, right? Now, we consume meat, plant foods, right? All these variations of things, meaning we can eat fish, we can eat pork, we can eat bears, right? We can eat anything, right? And most of these elements are not going to be poisonous, right? Now, as as omnivores, we can survive off of a mixed diet, meaning that we can go to any land, and as long as there's some type of vegetable that is not toxic, as long as there's some kind of meat that is not toxic, then we can consume it, right? And because of this ability to adapt to this variation of different food sources, we have been able to inhabit every part of the globe, right? Whether that be the Kalahari Desert of Africa, whether that be the tundras of Alaska, right? The jungles of the Amazon. These places have food sources, so you will see humans inhabit them, right? So pretty good stuff, right? Now, in terms of the human our origins, right, and how our food is connected to this, we are what we call Homo sapiens, right? And Homo sapiens have about a 200,000 year history, right? Now we evolved in East Africa, right, specifically Ethiopia, right? And as we evolved here, right, we started to move, right? Now there are biological factors of our eating practices that have been strongly influenced by our food, meaning that we became bipedal because of our food, meaning that we started to require large movements so we can actually move around from bountiful tree to bountiful tree, right? Fruit trees, right? And also had the ability to free our hands so that we can actually go and grasp for these things, right? We also have a very important question. So how is bipedalism related to diet, right? We also have large brains, right? Now, what is the human brain's nutritional needs, right? Big questions we have to ask. All right, so what do you think? So how is bipedalism related to diet, right? And how is what is the human brain's nutritional needs? Okay, and our teeth, right? Why are teeth shaped the way they are, right? So let's think about how our food might be related to this, right? So if you think about your dentition, do you eat only nuts, right? Do you eat only soft foods, right? How have cooked foods shaped our teeth, right? Now, bipedalism, most anthropologists believe, was greatly affected by food, right? Meaning that when we walk upright, this requires a lot of energy, right? All right, let's take a break.